I've asked Chuck Heidovitz to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the March 20th, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners, first day of spring. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as the chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Let's get started. First item, please.
Proclamations, presentations. Number 1, final report on Project Topeka, recognition of Steve Atchison, Appraiser's Office, and presentation of funds to Project Topeka.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections, and the publication, I gather, the speaker of the group. 2017, I truly believe, saw another tremendous year of support and generosity from those who work in Shawnee County. As I mentioned at the onset of our campaign, that I believe this is the 31st year for Project Topeka, which started in 1986 and continues to support our community and 7 local food banks throughout the year. I first want to recognize the team who really, I had the easiest job. They let me do what I like to do, and that's, I guess, sometimes talk. But Jane Rezac with the Commissioner's Office, who did a tremendous job of keeping us all informed. Kim Phillips with the Commission Office. Janet Morrissey with Public Works. Stacy Wonder with Parks and Recreation, Stephanie Kuhlman with IT, myself, and Quentin Unruh with the Health Department. These guys did, if they could stand, they're here, I know they're here. Or who's here? They all did a tremendous job reaching out to the agencies for donations, figuring out who's going to be each agency contact. And trust me when I say that, with everything else in the emails everybody gets, this does take a lot of work and a lot of time to do, and I deeply appreciate all that they've done. We had a lot of different events this year that was very successful. We had the food sculpture contest, which we had over 1,900 individual food items donated. In the small category, we had Tulip Time from Parks and Recreation that won, and in the large category, we had Emerald City from the Health Department, WIC, who won. Parks and Recreation, Public Works had 2 wonderful raffles. Create Your Own Sunday, with the winner was Kyle McDonald, and a cookie raffle, Colleen Block cookies, which from Gloria Cortez and Jane Rezac won those. Registered a Deed and Elections Office had a cookie sale out front. Came in with, the raffles had $153. The cookie sale was $424.05. We had cotton candy with Jeannie Wyrick that fumigated the whole courthouse with lovely smells of cotton candy, which was $152. We had the online auction, which was very successful, of $1,894. Department of Corrections cinnamon rolls and food day was $2,800. We had a generous donation, who we'll recognize here in a little bit, of $2,000 from Steve Atchison. The Sheriff's Office had events that was $943. District Attorney's Office had a Jean Day of $215. Donations from the Appraiser's Office, $100. Treasurer's Office donation, $63. We also had the Treasurer's Office Jose Pepper's Night Out, where a percentage of that money went back to Project Topeka, which was $78.91. All in all, we had cash donations was $8,822.96. It was a little down from last year, but I want to say that Shawnee County employees are very generous when it comes to our community. Right. And I've seen that time and time again. We all get caught up in our daily lives, but when it comes to helping those in need, I've never seen another county that's more generous than Shawnee County. I also want to say, with the cash donations and the food items donated, Shawnee County donated an equivalent of 15,262.44 pounds of food to Project Topeka, and that is tremendous. And so I want to say thank you to everybody with that. At this time, Dan Woodward. If I could have him come through, and Commissioner Archer, I wanted to give you this here, if he could come through and accept our donation on behalf of Shawnee County and to say a few words, but I'd also like to have Lee Allen and the Appraiser's Office to come up for their recognition. So Commissioner Archer, here's our donation. I'll allow you to hand it to Dan. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. I'm Dan Woodard with Project Topeka Food Drive. I'm the president. This is our 31st year, as you heard. But I'd like to just thank Shawnee County employees from the committee and the general public. You do a fantastic job each and every year for us. This year is really a special one. You have gone above and beyond. Steve, what more can I say about you? They've said about everything, but we really appreciate everything you've done. And I'd like to recognize you with a small token of our appreciation for everything that you continuously do for us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Want to say a few words?
Yeah, I want to do a little speech here. I like Project Topeka because they do good things for our community. I feel that I get the biggest bang for my buck because they can do things that I can't do as an individual. Thank you, Project Topeka, for your service to our community.
Thank you.
Just a minute, Steve. We have from the Commissioner Certificate of Appreciation for your extraordinary generosity over many, many years to Topeka and Shawnee County. Why don't we get out here and get a picture taken? This is significant.
You have to be in the picture too.
Wait, why don't we give it to
You're better at this than me.
Turn to both around so we see both.
Sir?
You have the
handoff.
Oh. I just got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kevin, thank you for everything.
Well, that was fun. I thank Brian for his leadership and Jane and Kim and everybody that's participated, and our employees are truly generous of their time. It's humbling to the leadership to see this. But Commissioner Cook, did you have anything to add?
I was just going to say, a lot of times, as Brian said, we get so caught up in our daily affairs and the daily grind. And Steve, your actions really do restore faith in humanity, that there's good people out there. So thank you for everything you do. And it's just really, it gives us a lot of pride to know that there are people that's still out there in the world that give like you do. Thank you.
Shelley?
I just want to say thank you to everybody, even a small contribution, but a big contribution as well. So to everybody who participated, we know there's a great need in this community, and we all step up, so that's great. Thank you.
Thanks again. Next item, please, Chris.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments on the consent agenda?
I don't have any.
And either I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Mr. Chairman, this morning we have vouchers that total $1,408,957.94. Out of those vouchers, the primary accounts for that report are holding accounts with the state of Kansas, health insurance payments. There was Parks and Recreation. It was spread out over 6 different accounts, mainly utilities, and then workers' compensation payment. And I would move for approval of those vouchers. I do not have any questions.
No questions either, I'll second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, County Counselor. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-101-2017 with the Kansas Expo Center for use of Heritage Hall to conduct the judicial tax foreclosure sale scheduled for April 28, 2017.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Barrett, County Counselor's Office, here to talk about everyone's favorite subject, the tax sale. Last August, you authorized our office to initiate a judicial tax foreclosure lawsuit against 166 properties. We have now been through the entire process of serving everyone notice. We've gotten a judgment, a court order allowing us to have our sale. So we're here today. This is our standard contract with the Expo Center to use Heritage Hall, which we've used for many years. We've scheduled the sale for Friday, April 28th. Right now we have 83 properties remaining in that sale, 3 lots, 4 commercial buildings, and the rest 76 are residential buildings. And it's about $500,000 worth of taxes left remaining on those, and we hope to sell them all at the auction.
Okay. Questions or comments for Megan? I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to approve the contract, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item C, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-102-2017 with Douglas County, establishing Shawnee County as the lead agency for the Southeast Woodring Road over unnamed tributary to Elk Creek project, with Douglas County reimbursing Shawnee County 100% for right-of-way appraisal and acquisition within Douglas County, and establishes maintenance and inspection for the completed structure.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is the Public Works item, and we have a culvert structure that is on the county line between Shawnee County and Douglas County in the southeast part of Shawnee County. That is in need of replacement. And in cases like this where we have a structure that borders 2 counties, we often enter into an agreement where we cost share the work. And in this case, we are requesting to do so with Douglas County. The Douglas County Board of Commissioners has signed a contract, which is now here before you for your consideration. We will split the work up. It'll be done in-house between our bridge department and their forces. And as mentioned, materials will be split, and right-of-way will be paid. We will. It's the same landowner. So we are having our agent do the negotiating and acquisition, and they will reimburse the county for their portion on the Douglas County side, but we will actually acquire it. It's our recommendation that this be approved, and we'll go ahead, if so, and get the culvert replaced. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions or comments about the contract, Commissioners?
I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries 3-0.
All right,
Thank you, Tom. Next item.
Item B, Information Technology. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-103-2017 with IBM for support services for an IBM Power 8 computer platform that was purchased in December of 2016 from Tyler Technologies and does not require additional funding.
Good morning, Commissioners. Pat O'Blinder with the Information Technology Department. As mentioned in the reading of the memo, this is a piece of follow-on paperwork that needs to be completed to finalize the purchase of a hardware platform that was approved back in December. The vendor will not ship this to us until this is signed, so we're hoping that you would get this taken care of for us. If you have any questions about what this is about, I'd be happy to answer those.
Questions, Commissioners? I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-104, 2017 with Computer Information Concepts for annual maintenance for the Tax Administration Solution Platform that is used to perform many tasks involved in tax revenue collection, distribution, and record keeping at a cost of $60,280 from the IT budget.
Commissioners, this item is the annual maintenance agreement for the CIC TAS system, as mentioned in the memo. This is a fundamental system that allows us to manage the collection and distribution of tax revenues for the entire county, so it's something we do want to have the maintenance in place for every single year. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much, Pat.
Thank you,
Next
Commissioners.
item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval to transfer $225,000 from the Parks and Recreation 2017 operating budget to the building maintenance budget as an initial step to develop and implement the process to address deferred capital maintenance needs of the department.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. To take you back just a little bit, if you recall, when we prepared the 2017 budget, the items that I brought as one of the most pressing needs for Parks and Recreation was to begin to address deferred maintenance. Our advisory advocacy board, made up of citizens of Topeka, some of them appointed by city council members, some appointed by you all, took this measure up and did an in-depth study. If you recall back right after Thanksgiving, Jim Martin, who is here today, who chairs that committee, made a presentation to the commissioners about how proposed several different methods on ways that we might be able to begin to move some of that forward. The reason have this in front of you today, it's $225,000 to move from our operating budget to this capital maintenance or 3R account, so we can begin to address that. This is new to Parks and Rec. It's not new to Public Works. Public Works does this yearly, and I would expect that we begin to do this every year. Whatever is budgeted in our operating budget, early in the year we transfer it to this fund so it doesn't get whittled away and those type of things. We identify it right off and put it right there. After speaking with Betty Greiners, this was both of us agreed that this was the best method going forward. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions for John?
I do not have any. I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider approval of a preliminary project budget in an amount of $287,059.90 and to solicit requests for proposals or requests for qualifications for the following projects. A, repair of the Blaisdell Family Aquatic Center family slide. B, updates of the GIS aerials of West Lawn Memorial Gardens and Family Park. C, overlay 2,100 feet of the loop trail around the Arboretum. D, implement a new management system to replace the RAL software with one that is current. E, application of a level top dressing to improve playability at the Shawnee North Community Park soccer field. F, cleanup of Shunga Glen Park and supplemented with volunteer efforts. And G, remove and replace a chain link fence with a black steel picket fence at Wardmead Park.
Commissioners, if you also recall during that November the 28th meeting when Mr. Martin made a presentation, there were several recommendations, not just tax dollars, but use of private donations from the foundation, the user fees, all of those type of things, and they are spelled out in each of these project budgets as we begin to move forward. These are preliminary numbers. We would go out on several of these and get more formal numbers and come back and adjust project budget at that time. But these are several of the projects we need to get started on. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments for Mr. Knight? Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John, you're not going to wait till you have the bids on all of these items to come back. It's going to come back one as the bids come in.
Correct. Yeah, these are individual preliminary project budgets, not project budgets. In fact, if you look at some of those numbers, I submitted a project budget to you, but I think it's well within purchasing regulations that I probably could have done some of this without coming to you guys. But I did want to, since this is new, we're beginning to attack a huge project on our capital maintenance. I wanted to be more forthcoming than normal and just have all of the items listed. But no, we'll start tomorrow morning.
Okay. Just want to make sure that we're not going to have this as being one item, one project, but these are multiple projects.
Yes.
Okay.
That will come back for approval.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Question?
Yes,
Yeah.
Commissioner.
Some of the ones that will require commission approval will come back for approval.
Because of the ceiling, as far as
Yes.
expenditure.
Yeah, purchasing guidelines, yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bueller?
And, John, you may have mentioned this, but the source of those funds then for these projects, the 287,000?
That's going to be that capital maintenance project that I just transferred $225,000 into. This adds up to more than $225,000, but there are funds already in that fund going forward, and what will come down to the commissioners in a few days will be the fees in which we begin to address the ongoing costs of keeping our facilities in the top condition that they are by dedicating some of the user fees to this fund.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move for approval.
Okay, I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 3, consider approval of a request to solicit request for priced proposals from local construction firms for services necessary for the construction of concrete cart paths at the Cypress Ridge Golf Course.
Commissioners, the continuing theme on these items this morning is the bang up for our buck that we are getting from our advisory board. Jim Martin, whom we pay him absolutely nothing, has done a lot of work on all of these projects, this one included too. I will tell you it did cost me lunch, and if you can see Jim back here and the size of Jim, that did cost me a little bit, but I'm okay with I'm okay with that as well too. This project, staff, Kerry Golden, Austin Tillman at the golf course has begun to, they did this project right. There was numerous, in fact, Kerry, if you would bring up to me now, I do have an executive summary that I'd like to submit to you as to all the steps that the advisory board, staff, and the golf, and our independent contractor have taken here from we started as a, if you recall, back in 2014, go ahead and pass it out to them. If you recall, back in 2014, we made the Cypress Ridge Golf Course and Lake Shawnee Golf Course a revolving fund, which in effect makes them to begin to operate more like a business. What we found is that we are getting money from users that we have to turn around and give back because we don't have cart paths on the back nine. When we inherited the Cypress Ridge Golf Course back in 2012, there was a lot of talk before we merged about whether or not it needed to maintain its operation as a golf course, needed to go away, all of those type of things. I will tell you that since 2012, and this is both Kerry and Austin deserve a lot of thanks here on this. I'll just real quickly go through a couple of these for you. Since 2012, when we inherited it, there was about an estimated 18,000 rounds of golf that came to us. In the first year of operation, Kerry took that from 18,000 to 23,000, 22% increase. The next year, he increased it to 27,000, another 16% increase. 2014, we went up to 28,000 rounds of golf, which is another 6% increase. 2015, he went to 29,000, almost 30,000 rounds of golf, which is another 3% increase. Now we've hit the wall. We've hit 2016, and it's about the same rounds of golf, and a lot of that is attributed to us not having cart paths on the back nine. I will tell you that we've had significant input. We had a public meeting. Yes, it was overloaded with golfers, but one of the themes that we were beginning to implement when we were talking with this public was that it's not tax dollars going to this, that that the golfers may at some point in time need to participate as well too, and they were enthusiastic about that. But we knew that that public meeting we knew at that public meeting that we had all golfers in there. So what Kerry and his staff did is they put out a survey on SurveyMonkey. Kerry has been by to a couple of the neighborhood groups around there to solicit as much public input as we can on this. And so far, it is running very positive that they'd like to see this, especially with golf course users and even our golf course independent contractor helping participate in this. But this request today is just to go out for RFP to get a price.
Before we discuss this, is there anyone that would like to comment on this? And I see Austin and Terry here. If you want to comment, I will say that the improvements at Cypress Ridge and Lake Shawnee, since the city was managing the courses, is dramatic. Austin and Terry have done an excellent job, as witnessed by the number of rounds that are played. The courses are in magnificent shape. So anyway, I wanted to open up to see if anyone, golfers or otherwise, had any comments today. Well, that made it easy. Any comments or questions, commissioners?
Well,
Commissioner Bueller?
had a chance to go out and drive the back nine, and it's a little rough.
I apologize for that because I did hit top speed when we went from the cart path to where we needed the cart paths, and I think I knocked a tooth loose on it.
I mean, there's some work to be done on the existing paths too, or this is just for the...
This is just for the back nine. There are, just like everything in Parks and Rec, there are places that we need to address on an ongoing basis, but this is the big chunk, and it does not include those other little pieces at this time. That's why we're also asking for a request for price proposals. Instead of writing complete specs out and having them bid this for us, we want to take advantage of the creativity of some of our contractors, and if they can find ways to reduce that cost, then I want to make sure that we can use them.
So, and I don't know if this is in here, John, but estimated increase in revenue as a result of the investment of the pass, is that?
Yeah, we think that that we, by not having cart pass, that we lose between $15,000 and $20,000 a year, and that doesn't include an increase in the price as well. That's just from events that if it rains on a Friday, that it's not dry enough on a Saturday to put people out on the carts for paths only, like you see at many other golf courses. Okay. Just in lost revenue, we think it's that much. And then we're going to try and recover more if we can from the user fees and other independent private sources if we can.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Commissioner?
I don't know that I have a question, maybe just actually I do. John, on the numbers that you have for the rounds of golf play, I remember during the budget presentation that the Audit Finance Department talked about that the Parks and Rec's revenue was down, but that was due to weather and rain, but then your expenses were also down. When we look at a flat golf number from 2015 to 2016, how much of that is attributed to the weather conditions that we have no control over?
Although we like to use the weather as an excuse, we have weather every year. Sometimes it's good weather, sometimes it's bad weather. The losses that we see, lost revenues, is because of bad weather, if we have rain and those type of things. There are numerous times that we're playing golf at Lake Shawnee because we have front 18 holes worth of cart pass. We have people on the carts for bath only. There are numerous times that we're playing there that we're not playing at Cypress. Did I answer that question?
You did.
We'll also tell you that the numbers that Betty cites up here do not ever include those revolving fund numbers, because we've taken some of those numbers out of the general fund operation and put them over here. Lake Shawnee breaks even or turns a profit every year. Cypress Ridge is very close to breaking even.
And that leads me to the second point. When we created the revolving fund, it was so that the golf would be self-sustaining. I'm not going to oppose the request for proposal because I think that we do need to know what the cost of the golf carts are for these trails. So I'm not going to oppose the request for proposal. I am very concerned with the funding mechanism. And the concern that I have is it would appear that we are contemplating taking money away from what would have otherwise gone to community centers or deferred maintenance that we have. In the budget presentation, we talked about Hillcrest has the aquatic facilities, the first slide that hasn't been updated in 20 years. Crestview Community Center. We have our community centers overall need a lot of love and attention and have deferred maintenance issues, not just in one part of the city or the county, but throughout the entire county, including the Shawnee North facility that was at one time the poor farm dating back to the turn of the century. So we have a lot of needs in deferred maintenance, and I am very concerned that we're taking away from the ability to address those deferred maintenance needs with the golfing, which is supposed to be self-sustaining. So again, I'm not opposed to the request for proposal. I am going to say that we need to really think carefully about how we fund any action for this.
And I certainly appreciate that. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of Parks and Rec infrastructure needed in our community, and that's why I've asked John, sort of unrelated, but I've asked John to make sure that we zero in on attendance at different community centers and aquatic centers this year to come to the conclusion of where we spend our limited dollars as far as infrastructure, community centers, aquatic parks, and so on in the future. So, but excellent point, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
To take that one step farther, not only did I buy Jim Martin lunch the other day to help pay for that, I also bought him dessert too, with the intention that the advisory board then take a step forward too and do a complete, help us with a complete in-depth analysis of all of the facilities that we use, like you just mentioned with the attendance, price, what is the future of these community centers, either programming as well as bricks and mortar. So I'm going to hit him up right after this meeting. I hope he liked that cake.
Well, and just to make sure, I mean, I've had those same conversations with John as well. To be fair, that whatever project comes forward, that it be self-supporting within the revolving fund. So I think you're well aware that, yeah, that in order to have that success, that's going to need to be in place.
Okay.
Yeah, but the bottom line for me is we need to support those activities where the participation is high, and we need to make sure that they're all first class.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve the request.
A second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Number 4, consider approval of request to negotiate a revised scope of work with Incon Inc. for the Lake Shawnee Spillway Improvement Project.
Commissioners, this is a repair to the Lake Shawnee dam structure itself. This has been before you before for us to go out to get bids. The bids came in over what the engineer's estimates were, but after discussion, I think if you allow us to do some negotiation, us, the engineer, and the low bidder, I think we can bring it back down to what a project budget is. I think there's some misunderstandings between the two. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have. And Terry Bertels, who's been working on this for several months, is here. He can help you answer any detailed questions if you have them.
Any questions regarding this? Commissioner Cook?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Who's doing the negotiations?
We've hired PEC, the engineer, and Terry Bertels from our department, but I'd be glad to include some other people if you.
You might just ask the counselor's office to overview or review any negotiations.
Yeah, and I don't reiterate this enough, but I don't do anything without asking Betty Griner, Jane Rezak, and Jim Crowell first.
The big three.
Yeah.
All right.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no, and that motion carries 3-0. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item, please.
Administrative communications.
This is your opportunity to participate in administrative communications.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay.
My name is Joanne Peeveler, and I'm here to discuss some activities that are going on in our small 3-block by 4-block neighborhood. But before I do that, I just want to make comment that yesterday I learned, my granddaughter was visiting me, I learned that she's now on the Board of Advisors to the Parks and Recs. So it was interesting to see that. And then also on your first item on your agenda, providing food for our food needy people. I'm also related, I don't volunteer there, but I do a lot of donations there because I get coupons that they save me. Anyway, that church in Highland Park not only does the eye care food bank, which is that southeast quadrant of our county, but also the regular commodities and so forth, that program, but also the backpack for school children that are able to take home food over the weekend so that they have that food. So there are dozens of volunteers there that help provide these services that should be recognized in some way too. But today I'm here to talk about the I'm losing my train of thought here. Revitalization of downgraded neighborhoods in Topeka and Shawnee County. Actually, this is a city, but it affects all of the city and county when it might impact negatively on our total bottom line of our property tax that citizens have to pay. At the last council meeting of the city, I spoke in opposition to a item on the agenda that was to send this new revitalization thing to a public hearing. And I was allowed my 4 minutes, as you know. City was allowed unlimited time to present their case. Bottom line was that the council didn't vote to approve this or reject it. It was not voted on. And so it won't come before the city council for 6 months, according to their laws. In 2013, our little neighborhood here, by action of the city council, and without our knowledge, and really without city council people's knowledge, our little neighborhood was voted out of the revitalization thing so that the whole thing could be moved further west. We didn't know that it was coming before that, and in all defense to the city council people, which one of you august people was on that city council in 2012, it was never mentioned in the minutes when I pulled those up that we were being eliminated. It was mentioned in the minutes that this area to the west of Topeka over to McVicker was being included. So they voted. I mean, when you read the description, the legal description of by the center line here and by the whatever, they didn't know that we were being eliminated. And I really believe truly that they would have opposed it if because our neighborhood had been in that revitalization thing where some of our homeowners that had built homes got money back from their property tax over the 10-year period that it was in effect. And some of those people that built those homes are our neighborhood leaders now, which is even more important. But anyway, it was voted, not voted on. And so I'm hoping that for some way in this 6 months before it goes back there, that we can convene some type of group or committee or something to study this problem further. Because if we continue to erode our neighborhood revitalization down to what I'm calling corporate welfare, and I can explain that if you want me to, all of our citizens are going to be affected negatively on their property tax because they'll have to be paying more property tax. So if I've made enough points for you to help in this effort to get it studied further in the next 6 months, I'll quit here. If you want more information, I'll be happy to supply it. So,
Okay, thank you for your comments.
can I make one more comment?
Yes, ma'am.
My granddaughter that was appointed to the, also mentioned that when she and her husband revitalized the AC store, the It was, the store in the 900 block of Quincy that was sporting goods and so forth. It had been empty for years and was slated for demolition. They were going to put a parking lot there. She and her husband bought the property, remodeled it, and now it's the Zimmerman and Zimmerman law offices. They employ more than 24 people. And they were successful in getting some of the revitalization funds to help defray some of the property tax. So this is what it's intended for our small businesses and for our neighborhoods to take advantage of restoring or revitalizing, not to have the $5 million that Walmart spent on McVicker to be in this program to get tax rebates for the next 10 years. Who knows what retail will be in 10 years? Will they still be there? So please consider this, and you have my information there. I'd be happy to provide any of this information that I have gotten online for your consideration.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joanne. Anyone else for administrative communications?
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Gregory, Kansas Expo Center. As many of you may have seen when you passed by the Expo Center this weekend, we finished up a very successful event, the Capital City Carnage Indoor Demo Derby. Attendance was 7,400 people for the weekend, which reflects a 10% increase in the prior year's event, representing 136 drivers from 15 states and 1 Canadian province. Limited the event at 200 cars. It was a great event, ran late into the evening. Concessions were even up 15% over prior year, so that's a good sign. Did get to meet the new owners of the event, Smash It, from Wisconsin. 4 great guys, absolutely loved our facility. They don't have anything like that where they're coming from, so their eyes were open. They're looking forward to coming back in November for Blizzard Bash. Next weekend, bringing in the Sunflower Arab Show, horse show, to Dome Arena. We're going back to that kind of horsepower for the weekend. And also another event that many of you may have seen in the newspaper, Kansas Kids Wrestling returns to the Kansas Expo Center. It'll be a full house every day, all day. As the newspaper article covered, very impactful to the economics of Shawnee County and Topeka. So welcome you all out. It's a wonderful event. Did bring in the big gun for this one. Mr. H.R. Cook is back in town. So feel free to ask me any questions or H.
Well, I think I read that Domer Arena, has 1 or 2 weekends open the rest of the year, and
We
otherwise they're
have
booked.
yeah, we have 3 non-holiday weekends. I give my guys 4th of July off, Christmas and New Year's. So those are off out of bounds. But yes, we're down to 3.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Anyone else for administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Cook?
I don't have anything additional.
Commissioner Bueller?
Expo Center Advisory Committee on Wednesday at noon. So
Good.
other than that, pretty
Good
quiet
deal.
week.
I hate to bring politics into commission meeting, but I have to say that KU and North Carolina are still in the tournament, and Villanova, and especially Duke, are gone, baby, gone. Next item, please.
Executive sessions.
There's not a need, so we're officially adjourned. Thank you.